All right, what's up? We're back with the third video in this channel's history, the Michael Jackson movie. I think the day this video is coming out will be the same day as release for the movie Michael. So I wanted to rank a bunch of Michael Jackson songs. And yeah, we're not originally I was gonna try to do all of them, but there's a lot of that. Didn't really have time for it. So we're gonna do basically the time period covering the movie, excluding the Jackson 5 stuff, and based off the movie's soundtrack and where the track list overall didn't look like stuff from Michael Jackson's early like teenage solo albums, like the stuff from Ben was gonna be there, and a couple other albums there as well. Sorry guys, set up. You usually have the background. We're in college dorm. Anyways, yeah, so we're doing Off the Wall, we're doing Thriller, and we're doing Bad. With that being said, we can get right into it. All right, so starting looking at our tiers, we have GOAT. This is just what's the best song overall. So this is just only one song can go there. Then Amazing is like basically perfect songs. We have great songs. We have good songs. We have mid songs. I don't think anything's going to go in instant skip. And then we're not going to do the ones I've never heard. We're just not going to rank those. So the bottom two tiers probably not going to be used. With that being said, let's start in Off the Wall. And the album starts off ridiculously strong with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. One of the better intros of any of the songs I listened to of these three albums. And I should say, on the front end, huge Michael Jackson fan. I feel like that probably be said if I'm making a video because his movie's coming out. But yeah, he is my favorite musical artist of all time. So I'm excited for this video. I'd heard a lot of these songs before, but not all of them. And there were some new ones where I was like, oh, that was really good. And especially in Off the Wall, hadn't heard. This was the one I'd listened to the least of all the albums. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, though, instantly, I think comes in at Amazing. I'm not going GOAT. Like I said, there's only one spot there. But I think Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, arguably the best starting track we're going to see on any of these albums. The intro is arguably the best of any song we'll see on any of these albums, and an instant classic. Arguably the best song on this album, but it's competing with Rock With You, which I think is just like arguably the smoothest Michael Jackson song we'll see on this list. Just another incredible record. Second on the track. This album comes out swinging. And then this is where like Working Day and Night, I'm not going great. I think it's good. It's fine. A little bit of a groove. This is like a disco album before he went, full king of pop. And I will say, for me personally, I do like a lot of the pop stuff a little more. So Off the Wall songs may be a little bit lower than they would be for other people. It's the same thing for Get on the Floor. Like, for what it's trying to do, being a sort of disco-y, make people want to dance thing, like, yeah, it's fine, but it's not something I'd be like, oh, I'm going to put that on a lot, especially given the library and discography of Michael Jackson. They're just good. I'm not going to say mid. I think they're good songs, but can't go there. Off the Wall, it's between great and amazing. I'm trying to think. Nope, not GOAT. Because I don't think it's a good. I do think Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is probably the best song on this album. Rock With You, I do think is better than Off the Wall. So I'm going Off the Wall in the great tier. The hook is amazing. The rest of the song is also really good. I just don't think it's quite to the level of Rock With You. But yeah, it's another great song. That's the top three on this album. I'm pretty confident in that. Girlfriend is mid. I'm not really a fan of this one. And this is where the album really switches up, because Girlfriend, gotta keep this up, and She's Out of My Life. She's Out of My Life probably go here, though. And Good were a big switch up from what it was going off. Like the crazy good start and then a bunch of disco-y dance stuff. That is not what She's Out of My Life. Really sad, more slow. Girlfriend, another slower, softer thing than what they've been doing. And the change up was, it was interesting. It wasn't what I was expecting. I hadn't listened to the album in full before. Kind of caught me off guard, but they were two of the weaker songs. I Can't Help It is really, really strong. I don't think it's as good as Off the Wall, but it's right there competing for top 4. Excuse me. I think I saw when I was doing research for his video, Stevie Wonder wrote the song, and it is really, really, really good. This was one where I'd never heard before coming into this video, and it's one that's definitely going to be put in some of my playlists when I'm listening to Michael Jackson music. Like, this one will come up as where I hadn't even thought about it before, never heard of it. I like it a lot. Then let's go. It's the Falling in Love. I think actually really underrated. I don't think it's as good as I Can't Help It or Off the Wall, but if I was doing a top 5 from this album, it would be on this, and Burn the Disco Out would go in Good, and it'd probably go like that. Burn the Disco Out was better the first listen than the second. After I was it's a little bit repetitive, wasn't really feeling it. It's the Falling in Love, though, I do think holds up holds up. There's a duet actually going on, which I actually think is really interesting and a nice little change up from the rest of the album. There's some good emotion for it. I think the song lyrics aren't the best. I mean, it's a bit simplistic, but that didn't bother me too much. I do think it's a really good song. And that's what, 10? Yeah, so we're through 10 songs, and that is all Off the Wall. So now let's go into Thriller, which for my money is the greatest album of all time. All right, Thriller. Now, I know I just said in the last one that Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is arguably the best opening track of any of these albums. I do take that back. Want to Be Starting Something I would rank above Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Not GOAT. It's not, no, definitely not great. I'm not putting it as the greatest Michael Jackson song of these three albums, which I said I'm only giving one spot GOAT tier. And we might reorganize this at the end, but Want to Be Starting Something, absolutely incredible. It is very long, but the lyrics, they're just so interesting. He changes up every round, and it is like, you can hear I feel like people can hear it at first and think like, what is this guy saying? Like, what's even going on here? Especially with the, I don't even know how you say it, the Mamakusa. Like, I don't know what he's really saying that part. But if you actually listen to the rest of the song, there is actually some really good lyrics in here. The beat is amazing. Yeah, great song. Baby Be Mine, not. I'll put it in good. It's a good song. And I'll put it at the top of good. But especially compared, now I will say, I think I maybe had underrated this in the past because listening to Thriller, I was like, okay, all the other songs are better. But now listening to it, just judging it by itself, it is a good song. Just doesn't meet the rest of the album, which is just pretty incredible. The Girl Is Mine, I feel like a lot of people would go mid or good. But I'm going to put it in great. I like this song a lot. I think people maybe have too high of expectations because it is Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney on a duo. They think it should be top tier song, and maybe it's a bit of a disappointment thing. But listening to the song, I do think their vocals complement each other well. I think the song is actually really, really strong, and arguably it's not as good as Off the Wall. Arguably above I Can't Help It. I'll put it there for now. But yeah, I actually do like that one a lot. Thriller, this one I think is controversial. This because his title album, one of the most famous songs of all time, one of the most famous music videos of all time, and I'm just going like top of good. I don't think it is as good as a lot of other people do. This probably be my Michael Jackson hot take, is that I'm not a huge Thriller fan. I understand the music video was groundbreaking. I'm really excited to see the Thriller scene in the new movie, but as a song, this is just not one I'm coming back to a whole lot as a Michael Jackson fan. Let me know in the comments, is that crazy? Or are other people feeling the same way I am, where I think there's a lot of songs he has better than Thriller? One of those being Beat It, which is arguably GOAT tier. Like, it's up there. It is in the conversation for me for greatest Michael Jackson song of all time. I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it in Amazing for now because I know what's coming up next. And I know what's going in GOAT tier when I do this. But Beat It is one of the few songs I think can challenge for the greatest Michael Jackson song of all time. And unfortunately for it, the greatest song came up right next on the album, and that is Billie Jean, which, if you ask me, maybe my favorite song of all time. And I would give it as, if you ask me what's the greatest song of all time, I would say Billie Jean. Now, a bit of a strange setup for a song. Is this like imaginary woman he made up as a kid that his brothers talked about, like really strange story going into the song. But I mean, it is an incredible song. I mean, I feel like there's not much to say. Most streamed Michael Jackson song of all time, one of the most streamed songs ever on anything you look at, and the headliner and most revered song on what is the best-selling album of all time. It really speaks for itself, and I am putting it in the GOAT tier. Human Nature, amazing. I would say maybe better than Beat It. All right, now I'm going to put it at the top of Amazing. You could go, no, I'm going to put it behind Beat It. I'm going to put it behind Beat It, but above Want to Be Starting Something. Probably one of the top 5 songs that I heard through these 3 albums. And it was a change of pace because Beat It is obviously faster. Billie Jean is faster. Human Nature slowed it down, but the hook is really incredible. And the change up in the way he delivers the hook throughout it really, I think, stops it from being overly repetitive. And I liked it a lot. What can I say? Next up, Pretty Young Thing. And I think the background vocals make this song amazing. I think I'll put it between Rock With You and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. But yeah, they're like, nah, nah, nah. Like the repeating thing is really cool. And another way he was innovative, or maybe not innovative, but able to add some flair to this song that on the surface maybe isn't as good as a Beat It, a Human Nature, a Billie Jean, which, this song is following what was probably the greatest stretch of music in all of history, going from Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature, to follow that up and still deliver another amazing song is incredible. I do think listening to the album, you can sense the drop off. You're like, Beat It is like, wow, Billie Jean, wow, Human Nature, wow. And that's why, like, Pretty Young Thing, I might make another tier here, because I do think there's a divide between great and amazing that I'll probably add in. And as a matter of fact, let me do that real quick. All right, added another tier and updated the colors of the list. You can probably tell it's probably a jump cut right there. But yeah, we added Perfect, and what's going to stay here and Beat It, Human Nature, and Want to Be Starting Something. I think these others are going to drop to Amazing. What's the divide here? I think Perfect are like, I'd give it 10 out of 10, but there's only one spot for the GOAT, right? So you can't all be the GOAT, but these are in contention there. Amazing is just like, that's the more 9 out of 10. Great is like 8-ish. Good, like 7-ish. Mid, like 6 out of 10, I think is what we're going here for the scale. And then Instant Skip would be like 5 out of 10, but we don't have any of those around here. The Lady in My Life, well, now I say that, this is pushing. It is in mid. This is probably the weak part of Thriller, I will say, is that it ends on its weakest song, which I do think is a bummer because it's just hit after hit after hit. I still think it manages to be my favorite, the greatest album of all time, even with not the strongest closing song. But man, if you had delivered another banger at the end, that would have been something, because I do think The Lady in My Life is definitely a weaker track than what is on the rest of the album. But this is what we're shaping up with going into Bad, which is the final album we're going to be adding. And the thing I'll say about Bad before we rank the first one, which is Bad, I think is the opening track. Is that right? Does it open with Bad? Hold on, I gotta check that now. Sorry, I gotta make sure I messed that up. Yeah, okay, it does. So before I jump into that, I will say I think it's the most consistent album in terms of quality. Like Thriller goes from delivering I have Thriller as 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 in a row, with another like 10 out of 10 and Want to Be Starting Something, PYT up there, all that. But then you end with The Lady in My Life, which I don't think is that good. Again, also with Off the Wall, you have some Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Rock With You, which are really good, but you have some of the lower tier ones. I don't think maybe Bad had the highs of like a Thriller, but I would say it was arguably more consistent. As I think the weakest song on Bad, I think I'm probably gonna have above the weakest song in Thriller. Starting with Bad, which I think is a good song. Probably the top of good. I don't think it's great. Is it great? No, I can't put it in great. I do think it's a very good song, though. I do think it's the weakest. I think Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Want to Be Starting Something are both better starting tracks to an album than Bad is. But Bad is a great song. Like I said, very, very great song. You're splitting hairs here when you have an artist who's just delivering peak after peak. The Way You Make Me Feel is better than Bad and is probably here. No, not be the end of here, I think. The way, just incredible. Just incredible. The hook is amazing. I don't think it gets repetitive. Maybe that could be a criticism. I don't feel that way. I think it has a case to be the top 3 track on this album. We'll see. There's some really good ones. The highs are really high on this album as well. Speed Demon, probably the weakest. I think this is here in mid, slightly above Lady in My Life, but I think comfortably the weakest track on the album. Liberian Girl, again, probably mid, but better than Speed Demon. But actually, Liberian Girl is like here. It's pretty good. It's fine. I'm probably not coming back to it a lot. And Bad, I'd listen to it more than Off the Wall, less than Thriller. So stuff like Speed Demon, Liberian Girl, this is my first time kind of reviewing it. I heard it maybe here or there, but it wasn't when I remember knew the words to, or would have come to mind naming Michael Jackson songs. It's fine. Probably not adding it to a ton of playlists, but it can go towards the back end of good. Just Good Friends. Again, it's building. It's better than Liberian Girl, better than Get on the Floor, better than Working Day and Night. Slots in there behind Baby Be Nine. Good song. Again, a little bit. I was getting nervous as it started the album because it started off really good. I knew Bad was going to be really good. Knew Way Make Me Feel was going to be really good. But then I was didn't love Speed Demon. Wasn't a huge fan of Liberian Girl or Just Good Friends. But then we pick it up and we get on a roll here with Another Part of Me, which is going in great. And it's going just behind Off the Wall, I think. This is a really, really strong song by Michael Jackson. The rhythm here is just incredible. The music, it just feels so much more I'm trying to think of like invigorating, especially after like Speed Demon. I was not feeling it. Liberian Girl, like I said, it was whatever. This one kind of like woke me up, got me back into the album, and I thought it was, and I'd heard it before, obviously, but I thought it was a great song. And wait, oh, hold on one sec. Jump back in. But yeah, I thought it was a great song, and I would give it probably 9 out of 10. And we could see this tier list shaping up with a not a normal distribution because it's slightly slanted towards good, like more and good. But you know, that's kind of what you expect. You know, you're not gonna have a ton of GOAT and perfect songs. Those are naturally less common. And as I say that, the next one is going in perfect in second place. This was what Billie Jean is first. I think it's the GOAT song. I think it's the best song of any of these songs you listen to. There's a reason it's the most streamed. I think it's incredible. But if there's one song I listened to where I was like, does it go number one? It was Man in the Mirror. And it's just the message behind it is so good. The way he delivers each of, like when he's talking about kids in the street with not enough to eat, like you actually really feel this stuff. The imagery is there. It has that kind of, what do you call, I guess like in sports, I would call like the intangibles of like, you know, a bit more meaning behind the song and a really strong meaning that he makes you feel, along with, you know, another incredible vocal performance by Michael Jackson. And in, you know, all the other stuff that makes Michael Jackson great, along with this really strong message and what is a pretty long song that manages to not get repetitive and deliver what is one of my absolute favorite songs of all time. Definitely 10 out of 10, arguably GOAT. I'm putting it in second place. And I do think that means I want to bump one of these down to amazing. So I think right now the cutoff, I don't want to have, I could just go, because like, I do think I'll put The Way You Make Me Feel just at the top of amazing instead of at the bottom of perfect. And we'll stay with just, so this we can have our top 5, unless, well, something's gonna jump in there. But just what is next? Sorry. Oh, I Just Can't Stop Loving You. Great song. Not as good as Off the Wall. Not as good as Another Part of Me, but very good, strong song. I mean, there's not a ton to say here. Like the hook's really good, but outside of the hook is where maybe you would need more to jump up into like an amazing tier. Dirty Diana. This was one that kind of blew me away. I had not heard this song before. I don't know how it's like number 7 most streamed on Spotify. Like if you go to Michael Jackson, go to his top 10, I think it's in the 7th spot. Somehow I hadn't heard it. I've listened to at least, I think I have over 50 songs in just my Michael Jackson playlist. So I'd listened to a ton of Michael Jackson music. Somehow I missed this one. And wow, it was so good. So good. It's definitely going in amazing. It's going behind, because I've only listened to it like 3 times. Like it's still new. I was trying to figure out like, I don't want to be too recency biased for my first times hearing it. So I'll put it behind. I'll put it at the back of amazing for now. But this one really, I was not expecting this. I was like, how have I not heard this before? This is so good. Yeah, 9 out of 10. So good. Blew me away. I was so caught off guard. Smooth Criminal. This is the one that I said is jumping into perfect. And it's jumping, Want to Be Starting Something. So we'll do that because we do 1, 5, 5. We'll leave it like that because I do think there's a gap between The Way You Make Me Feel, Want to Be Starting Something. I think that's a fine line to draw. But Smooth Criminal, the rhythm is just so good. The music is just so good. I just like could picture the dance video of him in all white. It's just so good. So good. It's all so good. I mean, this kind of just like a celebratory video. Like, I think all these songs are great. There's really no criticism here. It's just, I'm excited for the movie. I wanted to talk about how great Michael Jackson songs are. And then Leave Me Alone, not going in amazing, but it isn't great. And I think it's better than I think that's a good spot for it. So like I said, so maybe, I don't know if you talk about consistency because of what Liberian Girl, Speed Demon, Just Good Friends kind of hold it back. But after that, I mean, it was really, really strong. And if I had to rank the albums, so Thriller, 10 out of 10, my favorite album ever. Elite Status, Bad is like 9 out of 10, one of my favorite albums ever. Like probably top 5 for me. And then Off the Wall is like an 8 out of 10, very strong album. Not my favorite because I prefer the more pop, King of Pop vibe than the disco thing. I think that's just me though. Or I mean, some other people as well, but I think it's a preference thing. If I was more into the disco thing, I could see enjoying Off the Wall as maybe above Bad, but I do think Thriller is clearly the top of this album. So when we look at it, we have Billie Jean as the GOAT. We have Man in the Mirror, Beat It, Human Nature, Smooth Criminal as the top 5. Want to Be Starting Something, first cut there. Then The Way You Make Me Feel, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, PYT, Rock With You, Dirty Diana as 6 through 11. Then we have Bad, Off the Wall, Another Part of Me, I Just Can't Stop Loving You, Leave Me Alone, The Girl Is Mine, I Can't Help It, and It's the Falling in Love as some great songs. Thriller, Baby Be Mine, Just Good Friends, Working Day and Night, Get on the Floor, Burn This Disco Out, Liberian Girl, She's Out of My Life and Good. And then mid, Speed Demon, The Lady of My Life, Girlfriend. I would say the hottest take that jumps out as me reviewing it is like ranking It's the Falling in Love over Thriller, I think is probably a pretty crazy and controversial take. And I know I'll have people who also think ranking Baby Be Mine as one of the lower tier songs will be pretty crazy as well. With that being said, let me know how would you rank these songs on these 3 albums, and let me know, would you guys want to see potentially ranking some of the other Michael Jackson songs? Because we have Invincible, another great album, Escape, and Michael the posthumous albums, very strong as well, with songs like Chicago, really good. What are the others? Like, what's on here? We go Chicago, very strong. Escape, very strong. Slave to the Rhythm, very good. Love Never Felt So Good. Like, there's some really good ones here. Haven't listened to a ton of Michael. Invincible, though, with like Heaven Can Wait, Butterflies, You Rock My World. And then there's obviously he released those like anniversary albums with new stuff that comes out as well. So like Will You Be There is from a movie, I think. Somebody's Watching Me is a really strong one. Haven't heard a lot of the early stuff, but we could rank it if you guys would want that. So yeah, so let me know, would you potentially be interested in more kind of filling out the rest of the tier list with the rest of these Michael Jackson songs? If so, consider leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing. I thank you guys all for watching. Till next time.